lose my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for me. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite. Ready.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to FPL Gameweek 20, Double Gameweek 20, episode number 51. I'm joined by Karan. Your background has suddenly just gone dark.
Mine?
Yeah,
Oh,
but while you fix that, there we go, a bit better. So we're joined by Karan, and we are looking forward to Double Gameweek 20 with 4 teams doubling, the 2 Manchester clubs, Spurs and Crystal Palace. So we'll be talking all about that. And looking at which double game week players are probably best to get, and also touch about the game week 20 fixtures in general as well. Having said all of that, let's get straight into the fixtures. So these are the fixtures for this week. Keep in mind that the game week actually starts with early Friday kickoff. I would say Friday night kickoff, Saturday morning for those of us in Australia. It's not the Saturday night. I initially thought it was Saturday night and then realized, Aston Villa versus Leeds is actually in the morning. So don't get caught out by that for anyone who's wondering. There will be a deadline stream, so make sure to join us for that. But now that the doubles are in full flow, something you will see quite often on this stream is Ben Crellin's fixture ticker. Basically to kind of get an idea of how the doubles are, and what can be coming in the future in potential doubles, potential blanks, all of that we kind of need to keep in consideration while also looking at the doubles that we're talking about for this game week. If you are in the chat, say hello, and I can see Ruhil. Welcome. So yeah.
welcome. Yeah, it's what is Saturday morning, 5:30 a.m.
Yes, 5:30 a.m. deadline Saturday morning for those of us in Australia. If you are abroad, if you're in the UK, then it's it's a Friday night kickoff. I'm not sure what time.
I missed the the Robertson leak.
Okay, you missed it, yes. And you had Robertson.
Well, I missed it because it was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I remember.
I set my team, went to bed at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then you messaged me at like 2 a.m. saying,
yeah, because that's when I got
Robertson.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, so it's like it's a somewhat of a disadvantage sometimes.
Yeah, that's what. Fair enough. I was doing deadline stream and I was abroad as well, so I was in an okay time zone. But then I can understand where like the leagues unfortunately come way too late. But the thing is, the first game here is Aston Villa versus Leeds, so I don't think we really care about the leagues anyways, and anything that comes after is not going to really help us. So we kind of have to go based off what knowledge we have for the double. Now, let's start with... We will answer questions about players as well, so we'll go team by team. Should we start with City?
Let's go to do the more boring ones first.
Okay, what's the more boring one?
Go back to the fixture.
Yep.
Okay, like Everton, Southampton. What do you think?
It
has no FPL
do you even have
relevance,
players on
right?
there? Except for Peru, maybe for some people.
I feel like everyone's so cheap. Everyone just has big team players.
Yeah, exactly. So I probably wouldn't look into any. Actually, let's talk Brighton Liverpool, because I think there's a couple moves that might happen in that team, especially with the likes of Liverpool, where people have the likes of Darwin, have the likes of Salah, and might be looking to actually get rid of them. Now, you kind of have to keep in mind we still don't know if Liverpool will get a double in 21. There's a possibility that at this point I don't think they get a double in 21. Is what I've heard. But
There's a thing I saw on the FPL Wire where did you watch the episode?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so they showed the expected number of fixtures per game week.
Yeah.
Did you see that? So basically they worked out from Ben Crellin's estimations of when a match would get cut out or not,
okay.
and then use the betting odds to get the probabilities.
Yep.
So Liverpool were expected to have 9.6 games over the next 9 games.
They have a couple. They have, I think, 2 or 3 games. Yeah, they have.
So basically, Liverpool are extremely likely to get a double.
Yeah, that's why. So let's just, for the moment, we still don't have that information, so we don't know whether we'll get that information.
But it should be a factor for making decisions about Liverpool players.
Exactly. So having said that, there's a question then from Ruhil also, which kind of connects into this. Let's talk Darwin first. Darwin has been kind of a popular move. Well, I don't know if it's a popular move. Let me actually just check the transfers out page. But kind of a move for people to try and get Harry Kane in. In the same way, Salah has been a bit of a move to try and get KDB or even someone else in. What do you think about that? I'm just looking at Darwin is the second most sold striker. Yeah,
I'm keeping Darwin.
You're keeping Darwin.
I've had Darwin since the restart.
Yep.
And as frustrating as it's been, it's like his underlying numbers are insane. Yeah, I mean, this has been talked to death, but he's just he looks like he's the main man in the attack at Liverpool.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. So I've got the forward lineup, forwards last 6 game week stats, and Darwin is right on top for
That's insane.
XG non-penalty. I've sorted this by XG non-penalty for this one. And as you can see, 20 shots inside the box, 11 chances created, 11 big chances.
That's insane. So he has 2 goals and 2 assists, but he's expected to have 4 goals and 5 assists.
Yes.
And a lot of the top tier players
4 goals.
Oh, sorry,
5 goal involvements.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 assist.
Yeah, but even then,
I thought that was
11 big chances in total. That's just a huge number.
So when he goes in on a good streak of form, and good streak of form for strikers means overperforming the XG.
Yes.
This guy's numbers will be insane.
Yeah, if he does go overperforming his XG, which he's not doing, unfortunately.
So the other thing is because he misses big chances, that's really bad for his BPS.
Yep.
For a striker. So that's another reason why he's frustrating to own.
Yeah, I've owned him. So I owned him the latter end of before the pause, and then at the start as well. And yes, watching him is frustrating. But I do also remember when that last game week before the pause where he delivered as well. The thing is, this guy is capable of delivering a haul because of the fact that he gets so much chances, and it's crazy how many chances he actually gets.
I can't bring myself to sell him because he can haul in any game.
Yes.
And that's just I just can't sell him.
Would you still okay? So if the counter argument, so this is now I don't have Darwin because I got rid of him, but then I got rid of him for Mitrovic because I wanted to keep Martial, thinking that United would get a double, and they kind of did. If I still had Darwin at this point,
no, I think there were many times where you could have got rid of Darwin.
Yeah.
But I just think that if you haven't gotten rid of him now, I don't see much point in selling him because obviously Kane is a better choice.
Yep, but the fixtures are harder.
It's not even just that. I don't think Darwin is
as bad.
A hit worse.
Yeah, fair enough. I get what you mean. Because let's say Liverpool do get a double in 21, then he is a player you'd want in your team as well.
And the problem with Liverpool is their defense more than anything else. They're still generating quite a lot of XG. I saw some chart the other day where Liverpool are right up there in terms of chances created and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So their attack has no issues.
I
have Robertson. I'm thinking about Robertson.
third in the attacking stats for the last 6 game weeks. So they are solid in terms of attack.
XG delta. So see, the XG delta is what's thin, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're kind of performing based on what they kind of should be getting, is what the delta is saying. The thing is, their main target man is not finishing his dinner, which is frustrating, but also shows that he's getting chances. Now, the thing is, will the introduction of Cody Gakpo change things? Will it mean he gets more chances? Will it mean that Gakpo is a better option?
I haven't really watched him during the World Cup, but I mean, I've read a little bit, and I don't know. It seems like a bit of like an inside forward type player, like a Rashford type player.
Yeah, or even a number 10 type.
Oh, really? I thought it was more like a wide.
He can play on the left. He's also played a bit in the number 10 for Netherlands. He did also play somewhere there.
So he's a creative player, or he's like he gets on the end
he's mostly the creative. He's the guy who does the crossing and creating part compared to getting on the end. He's capable of doing that, but not as much. He was more of like a Diaz type replacement compared to maybe a Darwin replacement for that matter.
I mean, then that could be beneficial for Darwin, right?
It should, because this means he gets more chances.
Right. So he'll play on the left. Firmino will get dropped, and Salah will play on the right.
Yep.
So I mean, it seems like Darwin will remain the focal point, right? Like Gakpo is not going to play striker.
Yeah. No, probably not. No. So I still think Darwin's a pretty good hold to keep. The question is, do you want, like, the thing is, Kane has also been pretty solid. Now, fixtures obviously.
Kane's been great.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, Kane's been great, but underlying stats wise, Darwin is.
Yes. Yeah, Darwin is also pretty solid,
like
because
3 million cheaper.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
2.5 million cheaper.
So that it all depends on what other moves you kind of want to make, and whether you can afford Kane or not. That's just something else as well to kind of consider. If you can afford Kane, I still don't mind doing it, just because I feel like Kane is still a pretty good option. And they also have Fulham in game week 21, which is also an added bonus. I do understand that they have City after that in 22, but then the fixtures after that are also not too bad for Spurs, to be honest. So it depends on how you want to go for it. But from Spurs, I think Kane is probably the only one I'd want at the moment. I can't really see anyone else. In terms of those who have Salah, would a move for KDB straight away work?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think so, because he gets the double game week now, and then one in 23 as well.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. So that actually probably doesn't, like, the only thing is, let's say Liverpool do get a game week in 21. I actually don't mind if you don't have KDB, and if you're transferring Salah out, do Salah to KDB, bring back Salah in 21. And then just go back to KDB in 23. That's also a possibility.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that.
Because if you go to KDB and then, the worst case, you have him for an extra couple of game weeks, he still has good fixtures.
Yeah, so exactly. So that's
I think it's an easy move.
Agreed. So that's also not a bad move to do. So I think KDB is actually a pretty good option. Just go get him. So that kind of covers Liverpool and their assets in some way, and touches on the doubles as well.
Oh, would you keep? Sorry, one more thing. If you have Robertson or Trent, what do you do?
I don't mind keeping them, because I'm looking at your alternatives.
Yeah.
And this is assuming you already have Trippier. You already have an Arsenal defender, who I probably wouldn't start this week, even if you had one. And you probably have a United defender or a City defender.
Yeah.
Sounds like so if you had like that kind of a backline, I would probably keep Trent and Robertson. I mean,
everyone has Trippier, White plus 1 or 2. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you had, because most likely the chances are you have Robertson instead of like a Cancelo. And at this point, you're not really losing out, because Cancelo isn't really starting. So I would probably keep that, because then you are kind of okay with you have at least one Liverpool player going into the double, if they get a double in 21, that is.
So is 21 the game week where
they could potentially double? But then there's also the potential that they could double.
Wait, so where is that?
Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chelsea.
So
what
they
does
could
that color mean? Likely double game week.
likely
Okay.
double game week. So I mean, they could double in 21, but they could also double in. This is game week 26. So we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's hard to say. But game week 26 is quite some distance away. That's in March, basically. So
if I have 2 Liverpool and I keep them,
yes,
then I could potentially get in for.
if the double does come in 21, then you're good.
Yeah. Oh, it's in 21. Yeah.
If it does come, we don't know.
Yeah.
There's a chance that it doesn't even come at all, to be honest. But you never know.
Yeah.
It depends on the Premier League, to be honest. So that touches Liverpool. Now the other non-double fixtures I'm looking at. You've got I guess Newcastle. You just play them. They're playing against Fulham. The likes of Almiron, Trippier. I don't really see a reason to drop them.
I mean, they're almost the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Right? So you just play their players every game.
Yeah. So I would probably start those players. Even
if you have Mitro, do you rest him against Newcastle?
If you had Mitro, I'd probably like bench him, or worst case, I actually don't mind transferring him out for some player.
I have Mitro.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I don't mind a Mitro to Martial swap as well, as a possibility. Just because Newcastle defensively are just quite solid that I don't really see Mitro getting much from that game. And also Fulham are away. Usually Fulham are better at home compared to away. So that's why. So if you had Mitro, I don't mind transferring him out if you want to transfer, or you could also bench him because the fixtures after also not too bad.
I mean Mitro's fixtures good?
Mitro's fixtures.
So he's got Tottenham, Chelsea, Forest, Brighton, Wolves.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely plays in 25, which is Wolves.
Which
and
is
25 is where is the big upcoming blank, correct?
Yes.
So he definitely plays, right? So I mean, maybe it's a bit too early to start caring about that. Maybe not. Maybe around game week 22, that'll affect my decisions a lot.
Probably. But at the moment, I think if you had the opportunity, now there is the thing, like you could potentially, I mean, we don't know, right? Arsenal have a double. Okay. So for those listening, Arsenal do have a double in 23. You could potentially even want Nketiah as well, Nketiah by then as well. We don't even know. Depends on the situation. But that double, I mean, they are one of the few teams that play in 25. But I mean, you could get rid of Mitro now and then get back Mitro later. I don't know. It depends on how you plan your transfers as well. That's something to consider. But I don't mind actually moving him out because I think there are points to be had. And kind of like waiting till like letting 25 make impacted decisions now might be a problem, especially if you have a free hit. I mean, there is a free hit just in case if you had a free hit chip left.
Yeah, like I think for Mitro, Tottenham is a pretty tough game, but we saw like Brentford had a lot of success against them in the air, and
Mitro could,
Mitro could prosper.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea have a lot of big centre backs, even if they're in terrible form. Like they have the type of people to combat him. But then after that, it's like Brighton, Forest, Wolves. Those are all excellent fixtures.
Yeah, exactly. Fair
so
enough.
If you get rid of Mitro now, you can get him back. That makes sense.
Okay, so those are kind of the two main teams I think that players might have. I mean, you might have players from. I guess Brighton are another team, but Brighton might have doubles coming later, and then we'll talk about them later. But I don't think you should worry about them now at the moment. And then there's obviously Arsenal. Is the final probably single game week team to kind of touch on. Would you start an Arsenal defender ahead of Newcastle? I mean, ahead of Spurs?
Ahead of Spurs?
Yeah, in this game week 20.
Yeah, but like, would I rather start White over a Spurs player?
Oh, no, would you start White over... I mean, who's in your backline that would...
I mean, in my case, I have James.
Oh, okay, so you probably moving James out, right?
Yeah, so I might if I move James out for like a Man United defender, then of course I'll play him over that. But I mean, I would be reasonably comfortable playing an Arsenal defender. I think they're that much better than Spurs at the moment. But it is a derby and all that.
Yes, and Spurs do have a
know.
really good track record against Arsenal when Spurs are playing at home.
Yeah, but I normally just look at form for things
Fair
like
enough.
this rather than the whole derby thing.
Mm.
And Arsenal is just an insane team at the moment, and Spurs look really dysfunctional. So I'd be very comfortable playing Ben White.
Fair enough.
And in a low scoring game, like you can get
Yeah,
BPS. So.
yeah. I think like playing their attackers are also not a bad choice, like Martinelli, because we've seen like Spurs aren't defensively solid, and I don't expect Spurs to keep a clean sheet in either of their double game weeks. In terms of Arsenal, yeah, I mean Ben White, I don't mind starting him, but I think if you had three other players ahead of him that you are comfortable of playing, then I don't mind doing that as well. Depends on the team, obviously.
Yep.
Okay, so those are kind of the single game week players. Want to start into the doubles?
Sure.
All right. Which double game team do you want to kind of go at first?
City first.
City first? Okay.
Oh, United first. Let's do United first.
All right, United first. Easy one. Rashford, stand-up player?
Must have.
Must have, yep.
I think so, right?
Potential double in 22 as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, pretty strong chance for a double. One of which is Palace.
Yeah.
Palace are not great at the moment, and then even that after that he has Leeds, Leicester, Brentford. Like these are all amazing games.
So Rashford, really good option, really good form as well
I
right
think
now.
So. How does he look like to you? Have you been watching?
I think
games?
he has been probably one of the most. You know what? After Haaland, after the restart, I don't think when Haaland has been on the same form as Rashford. Rashford probably the most informed player in the game, in the league right now, after the restart.
Yeah,
I can't think
maybe like an Odegaard.
Oh yeah, Odegaard probably. Odegaard. I mean, we're talking about attacking players. So Odegaard and Rashford are probably the most informed players at the moment, I think. So I think Rashford is. I won't be shocked if Rashford has a EO of above 100 this game week.
Yeah.
That's a strong possibility, and he is a decent captain choice as well for this week.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, I mean Haaland is.
But Haaland is clear, right?
Yeah, Haaland is clear. But if anyone who wants to be extremely maverick, Rashford is not a bad option as well. Just because that Palace game is there, that's why.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's just minus EV at this point.
Yeah. So Rashford, good. Defense, Shaw, I think, is the better option. Dalot did go off in the cup game.
For what it's worth, I think Dalot will play both games.
Yeah, I think so as well. There is a chance. But if you had Shaw, I
don't mind. Do you think he plays City and gets rested against Palace?
Who?
Because that would be the worst of both worlds, right?
Yes, because the chances of a clean sheet against Palace are higher than the chances of a clean sheet against City.
And a return.
I mean, depends on the situation, right? It depends on how, like, whether that injury was like just taking him off precautionary and didn't want to risk it, or I don't know. I still think he might play both, but it depends. Because if you look at it, right? I mean, if they wanted to rest slightly, it would be the Palace game because Arsenal is next after that.
Yep.
But
fixtures are pretty congested.
Exactly. So I mean, the safer option for me right now would be Shaw. If you can afford
even Shaw can get rotated with
potentially,
Malaysia, right?
Yeah, potentially. But then we've also seen Shaw
like
now.
Shaw is pretty injury prone and everything. So whereas Dalot has been, his availability has been really good.
Yes,
right?
Except for recently. Except for recently, where he's been coming back from an injury.
Yeah, but that was only he got played into the ground though before that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like because for Portugal as well, like he displaced Cancelo in the World Cup. So
I think Dalot is a good option if you can, but I'll probably wait for some news.
So they have City on the 14th.
Yes.
Palace on the 19th. Arsenal on the 23rd. Then FA Cup on the 29th. And then Palace on the 5th. Yeah, so they have quite a lot of rest between. Yeah, so he might just play Palace and Arsenal like he might. You sometimes see managers doing this when they have two fixtures close together. They'll play like similar squads.
Yeah, and then
they'll rest them all.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Just to keep form as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to. it is something of a punt. Now, in terms of press conference notes, Ten Hag did mention he took him off as precautionary. So I don't mind having Dalot if you want to get him. It's a slight risk, but I still think he might feature. The question is, we don't know how many minutes and all. But I think he's probably the better fullback than Wan-Bissaka, even though Wan-Bissaka has been doing pretty well recently.
I don't think Wan-Bissaka even remotely fits the type of football he wants to play.
That Ten Hag, no, probably not.
And that's why I think, it's probably smart to give him some minutes because you should try and sell him this season and the end of the season. But I don't think he's a long-term solution.
So Dalot and Shaw, but probably pick one because I don't think it's worth a double up on defense at the moment. The other thing is a third United asset. Now that's slightly a bit more harder to pick. Would you go Martial, who is not guaranteed 90 minutes but will play? Or would you go Bruno Fernandes, who is probably guaranteed 90 minutes but less chances of... Oh, well, I'd say less chances of attacking returns, but he's actually numbers-wise, he's doing pretty well.
I would consider Martial and Anthony.
Martial and Anthony. Yes, that's not a bad shot. Look,
I don't think I'd consider Bruno. I think Bruno's role is a lot deeper.
Yeah.
And very focused on assisting. I feel like he's not in the box taking shots as much as a couple of seasons ago.
Fair enough. I think Anthony is a pretty good punt to have as well as an option if you wanted. And the price point of Anthony is also not too bad. Now, he's obviously not on this list because of the fact that last 6 game weeks and he hasn't really been hitting the ground running in the last 6. But he
scored a screamer today.
Yes, exactly. And he's capable of those screamers. That's the thing. I think he could be a good option. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Palace are quite weak down that right flank of his. I saw a chart from Fantasypedia that was shown on the wire as well, where Palace were weak.
I saw that. It showed what parts of the back line they were playing.
So Anthony could be a good option as well if you wanted to punt someone as a third option. Martial as well, I still do like him quite a lot as an option.
I'm trying to work out if there's a chance that Martial gets rested somewhere.
He was rested today. So according to Ten Hag, he's benching and not appearing in training. This thing was just resting. So those are the quotes from Manchester Evening News.
So did he come on today?
No. Rested, according to Ten Hag.
Yeah, Martial's minutes really need management, right?
Yeah, that's what. So he won't play 90, but he will play. The question is, are you okay with 70 minutes?
You might see him play like 70 against City.
Yeah.
And then get taken off.
Yeah. And then
70 against Palace.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Given that he's got a double, it's not okay. But I don't know if I want him in my team long term.
Yeah, fair enough. Especially with Weghorst looking likely to come. But even though Weghorst does come, I don't think Weghorst will be the starting striker. I think Weghorst is like a option off the bench kind of thing at the moment.
I think there's a strong chance Weghorst could become the starting striker. I think Ten Hag plays. I think like Sebastian Aller.
For Ajax.
For Ajax was like a target man who was good with his feet, hardworking, pressing. Like I think Ten Hag likes a focal point to his attack. And he's sort of like that at United so far. It sort of makes sense because it would bring Rashford and Anthony into the game a lot more.
Yeah, because he can hold up the ball and all. But Martial is also pretty good at linking up, I would say.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think availability is an issue, so it makes sense to get another striker.
Yeah,
I think you'll see them rotated.
Yeah.
So I think immediately both of them will become bad FPL options.
Yeah, for now, at least Martial is pretty good because I don't think Weghorst is coming in for this game week at least.
I think Weghorst. So that's another. I'm just saying it's another reason to not get Martial because it'll become a fire you have to put out later.
Probably for game week 22, we might have that discussion probably. But if you already have him, I already have him, so I'm happy to keep him for now, and then deal with it when it comes. I think. Okay, so that's United. Let's talk City. Haaland, standard captaincy choice. Would you triple captain? Or do you think they're a better option? Better other weeks, possibly?
I think it's a pretty good option. There's the game week 23 double is Villa and Arsenal, right?
23 double for City would be, yes, where is that?
Villa and Arsenal.
Yeah.
So would you rather Villa and Arsenal or Spurs and City?
I did see somewhere, I think this was later in like 34 something, where he had another better option. Now, obviously, that you would have to kind of question whether minutes will be a bit of an issue then, because depending on how far City go into the Champions League, that is something we're not sure yet. But I don't. For me, now here's the thing. I probably don't want a triple captain in this week because I think there will be better weeks elsewhere. Now, obviously, Villa and Arsenal is not. I mean, it's not a major upgrade, but I feel like it's slightly better than United and Tottenham.
Yep.
There were other weeks as well. I think that I remember seeing on Ben Crellin's. Let me bring that up.
So I'm just switching my headphones.
Yeah. So, Gameweek 23, Villa Arsenal, possible future doubles, right? In Gameweek 29 was City versus Liverpool and Bournemouth or West Ham. 34, you could have Fulham plus Bournemouth, West Ham, or Brighton. Now that's very attractive. 34 and 37. 37 was Chelsea plus either Bournemouth, West Ham, or Brighton. The only thing is the minutes at that time might not really be sure. Oh, I think Karan is switching his headset. There we go.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Yep. So while he sorts that, let me actually bring this up for you guys if I can actually. Or let me take a screenshot of this and put it on for you guys. So let me switch out of this and put it up here. There you guys go. So yeah, future potential doubles of Erling Haaland or actually of City in general.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So this. Yeah, but these look, I don't know. These may just not end up happening. So
Maybe, yeah, that's a possibility. There's all so many conditions and factors on City reaching certain cups and certain stages for this to happen.
now, when you know that he's fit,
Yeah,
it's a lot of value.
yeah, fair enough.
A lot of these double game weeks, you might want to use other chips anyway.
Yeah, you could like a bench boost free hit.
There's a very strong argument to doing it now.
Yeah, fair enough. The next thing I would probably ask is, would you do it on Haaland or would you do it on Rashford in 22?
Leeds and something, right?
Leeds and Palace.
Yeah. But again, like it's what if he's not fit by then? Like Haaland, we know for sure he's fit to start this.
Yeah, fair enough. There is an argument of actually putting the triple. I think it's possible that he returns. We've seen him return for against United in the previous game week.
That was a United that was not as composed as it is now.
Yes, that's the only thing. So I wouldn't expect the same hammering that they got. I think it's a much more closer game, and I actually won't be surprised if United actually come away with a win as well.
But I mean, look, he's on the pointy end of every chance. Like it's, I don't know. I am like 50-50.
Fair enough. I mean, I won't be surprised if there are a lot of managers who do play the triple captainship. And I do think his EO will be above 200 easily this week.
When do they double next? In
23.
So in 23, that's
Villa and Arsenal.
That could be a decent bench boost week.
Could be. Depends on, because it's only Arsenal who are the other team that will double at the moment.
Yeah, but everyone will have 3 Arsenal, 3 City by then.
Yeah, you could bench boost there. This is the thing, right? We don't know where these other doubles and everything will come for, and usually bench boost is also not a chip I'm too fond of. Like people build for a massive double and then it just doesn't perform as we expect it to.
Yeah.
That's also not bad. Depends on people's squads and how it's looking like.
So I'm just looking in 23. City have a double. Arsenal have a double.
Yep.
And United play Leeds.
Yes.
Fulham. So Andreas and Mitro play Forest.
Yes. It's all good fixtures.
Darwin plays Everton.
Yeah.
Even bench players that you might have, such as like Bueno or something,
Newcastle play Bournemouth.
plays Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle play Bournemouth. So
Yeah.
literally all the meta teams have a good fixture.
Yes,
And
in 23.
Kepa on the bench, he plays West Ham at home.
Yeah.
This is like, to me, this is a pretty good bench boost week.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that makes me want to triple captain Haaland now.
Okay. See, when you put it like that, that actually makes a very good convincing argument.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because, and then you might want to free hit another. So there might be 4 good double game weeks
Yeah.
in the entire game.
Yeah.
And then one is probably a good bench boost. You might want to free hit another.
Yeah.
Then your triple captain choice isn't really as wide as you might think.
Fair enough. Fair enough. For me, I'm happy to captain. It's just a triple. I'm kind of. I think I might wait. I might wait it out and see. But I see the argument like just now you made in terms of actually triple captain him now as well.
That's what I mean, right? I literally think it's a 50-50.
Yeah. True. So Haaland's one. Now Haaland obviously the pick to have. The rest of the City players though haven't been performing as we would have expected. KDB has been like avoiding points, assisting the assister. Cancelo has been a no-show, and Foden has also been a no-show.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's a football journalist about this, and he thinks that Pep is going through another one of his tactical evolution. And that's what like Pep is known for, right? Like he innovates, right? So I don't know about this quote, but he's now very happy playing with 2 very defensive fullbacks.
Yeah.
So playing Ake on the left.
Yeah.
And playing Rico Lewis, who's an extremely defensive fullback on the right.
Yep.
And that seems to be this, and they both tuck in when they have possession.
Yes. Yep.
That seems to be the system that he prefers. And like I don't know, I suspect he's doing this so that he can maybe one day play with 2 strikers or something.
Julian Alvarez World Cup finish is sitting there on the bench.
In a way where they don't lose possession, like lose control of the midfield. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now we kind of go ahead.
This tactic, Cancelo is not really a natural fit.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've seen him getting benched, not play. It started with the World Cup. The guy lost his place to Dalot in the World Cup. Has come back, not looked really in favor with Pep Guardiola as well.
At right wing in the last game.
Yes, and then got hooked off.
Right wing.
Yeah.
Didn't play. And then, so, I mean, why is he getting played at right wing when he's one of the best? Because Pep obviously doesn't think that that's how he wants his fullbacks to play.
Yeah, fair enough.
The system, and that's a difference in this year's system versus last year's system. Because I think when your fullbacks go up, you can get countered.
Yeah.
And now trying to build this team that controls the game that doesn't count it. So,
And it seems like they've also changed the system to kind of accommodate Haaland as well. Like last season, there were obviously a lot more players getting involved in terms of goals creation, and they were going to the width and then like cutting back inside and all. Now it's more of like try and find Haaland if possible as well. So it has changed their chance creation and how they actually play as well slightly. And we've kind of seen that with the rest of the players not as contributing as much compared to like points, FPL points and all of that. Now, if you had Cancelo, would you sell him for another City defender or would there be someone else?
I'd sell him for another City defender if I couldn't do anything with my free transfer.
Would you do it for a hit?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I also think there's a chance that Cancelo
appearing. That's what I'm thinking as well. Yeah, because I don't know what to do with. I don't think it's worth a -4 because I just feel like I look at City's double and I go, I don't see y'all keeping a clean sheet in both at the moment.
But also, there isn't a defender that has some crazy upside potential. Like the best one is probably Stone.
Yeah.
Who has like a very, very low some goal threat.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? But then the other factor to this is, if you do move Cancelo out now, you're doing it with the fact that at least the player you bring in could potentially play for 23 as well. So you're kind of like making a move for 2 double game weeks instead of just this double game week. But then you can keep Cancelo, and maybe he features. I think he'll feature in both games, whether he plays.
Cancelo returns, it'll be
Yeah, that's the thing.
a low upside centre backs like 2 game weeks anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
So returns in a low scoring game, it'll be like 14 points.
But
And then-
in terms of like bonus and
Everything, yeah.
clean, yeah.
Low scoring game, right? Like if he scores, he'll get all the BPS and everything. So
Yeah,
he'll get
fair enough.
points. And then some like RK or something will get 12 points across 2 games. So it's
This is the thing, right? It's very hard to like predict what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know.
his upside is so high that you just have to keep him.
Yeah. So there's a question from.
You could sell him later.
Hmm?
He doesn't play much. You could sell him later.
Yeah, fair enough. There's a question from Jude. It says all the big teams are going to face each other in double game week 20. Where do you think go for forward defense or forwards? Yeah, I think we'll get to that when we like touch on some of the other teams as well. But yeah, Cancelo, it's a very tough question to answer what to actually do with him. It's a bit of a pain, but at the moment I don't mind keeping him just because I'm not sure if it's worth a hit to move him out. But I don't know. That's something I'll like think about. I think we still have to wait and see what happens for the cup game for City. That will also kind of like impact our thinking, I guess.
What the fuck? I would like to arrive against Man United with the average of minutes in the legs of the players being.
I don't understand Pep Guardiola at times, and I don't think when he sometimes I think he just does this to like
worth analyzing this shit.
Yeah, he just does this to mess around with a lot of people. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they perform in the cup as well. We'll see whether Cancel actually starts or doesn't.
I think we'll see Mahrez, Haaland
For the cup or
no, against United.
Oh, okay.
We'll see Mahrez, Haaland, Grealish up front.
So then, if you had Foden, well, change for someone else, or
if you have Foden now, you just keep him.
You just keep him.
I think so. Yeah.
If you didn't have Foden and you didn't have Cancelo, let's say you either get KDB. Okay, you don't get KDB. I mean, you have KDB, you keep him. If you didn't have KDB, probably he's the more priority player to get in. Yeah. Would you go double attack in the midfield, or would you go for a defensive?
I would go Mahrez.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think his form-wise is the one.
Go Mahrez or Stones.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mahrez or Stones would be my non-KDB or Haaland City pick.
Yeah.
Edison, if I had no other transfer to make.
Yeah, I like Mahrez a slightly bit more, even though I think Mahrez has been a troll for me, but I still do like Mahrez as a better option at the moment. Just because I think I know City defensive numbers have been good, but I don't see them actually keeping a clean sheet in this double. So Mahrez actually is a possibility. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that's Manchester City.
I thought the idea of benching Mitrovic and see if I can raise funds to change an Andreas to Mahrez.
You could do that. Who is your other midfield? Well, we'll get to your midfield, but that's a possibility as well. Yeah. Okay. Now, just to answer Jude's question as well, in terms of points, I think it's going to be your potentially mostly coming from your midfield and forward, because I look at your defenders in the game at the moment. Not many are actually performing per se, except for maybe Newcastle, who were consistently.
In this next game week?
I mean, okay, let's just talk about this game week. Mainly, yeah, probably midfield and forward. I think a lot of people will be in the midfield and forward. Spurs, apart from Kane, any other good option?
Doherty is a decent option. We should probably talk about him. I think he seems pretty nailed.
Yep, seems to have got in the favor of Conte as well recently. Has improved numbers as well.
What's his name? Jet Spence.
Yeah.
Royal doesn't really have any attack.
Yeah.
Doesn't know on the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doherty is a very limited player, but he's the best he has. So
yeah. And at the price point also is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the fixtures are really bad.
Yeah, fixtures are the only problem.
He can just get a broke goal though. So
yeah, so you're not looking for clean sheets from Doherty, right? You're probably looking at attacking returns, if anything.
Yeah, there's no clean sheets there.
Yeah, except for maybe the Fulham game next week. I mean, you could say that you could probably make the case that you get in Doherty now and you play him. You obviously play him for these doubles, but then you have him for that Fulham game when Arsenal play United. And then there's a chance that people have a United defender and an Arsenal defender in their teams, so they can bench one of them to play Doherty instead as well.
Yep.
So that's the case as well to kind of be made. Perisic, numbers wise, looking good, but too expensive for my liking.
Yeah. Also, he has more competition, right?
Who Perisic with Sessegnon. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so that's Spurs. Son, no. Kulu, no.
Kulusevski isn't he coming back?
I think I only just seen like photos of him training alone, but we don't know whether he's like back to full training.
Yeah. I mean, Kulusevski is an option when fit. A lot of goes through him.
Yeah. And Son, I would probably avoid. Jude has asked about Son. I would probably avoid.
I would avoid Son.
Hmm?
I would completely avoid Son.
Yeah. I think just for the price alone, it's just not worth it.
Even Perisic get into the same.
Yeah, this is the problem I had with Son. Like, he and Perisic occupy the same place way too much, which is a pain. So I'd probably avoid, like you said. Okay, so that's Spurs. Final double team. Crystal Palace. Avoiding completely. Numbers haven't looked great, to be honest. They're almost bottom four for attack. And defense seems to be fine, but they're facing tough opposition this week.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think if you had Zaha, you play him, but don't bring in anyone. I would feel like it's a wasted transfer.
How would you get 4.5 Mitchell when you can get a 4.7 Doherty or a...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Agreed. So those are the doubles. I think we kind of have touched now every other team. If you kind of missed it, make sure to go back and watch it as well about the other teams. But yeah, finally, captaincy, Haaland. And we kind of made a case for triple captaincy as well and talked about potential bench boost in 23 and why triple captaincy kind of makes sense in this week as well. In terms of, let's get straight to the teams. So this was your team, Karan. What are your thoughts at the moment?
Yeah, so I have James. I mean, it's a problem in that there's some funds locked there, but there's not really a ton of natural things I can do with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mitro has Newcastle, so everyone else has a fixture that I want to play them for.
Yeah.
One of the moves I'm considering is Mitro to Martial. I have, hang on, just give me 1 second. I think I have like 0.6 in the bank or something. So Mitro to Martial, I'm considering.
Yeah.
I was also considering Mitro to Tony, and then James to Dallo or Doherty.
You might want to wait on the Tony news. We haven't heard anything whether Tony's fit or not yet.
Which is what I'm doing, because Tony, the next 3 fixtures are the worst 3 teams.
Yes.
And Brentford, they generate a ton of XG. And it almost always goes through Tony. So I'd be pretty happy to get Tony.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so those are potential moves, I guess.
Another move I could make is keep Mitro, then Darwin to Kane.
Ooh.
Robertson to
okay. Can't you do just James to like someone else and keep Robertson? Or do you need to move Robertson to be able to afford Kane?
Yeah, so that is also another move. I can do James to someone and then rest White.
Yeah.
Or rest Mitrovic.
Yeah. So whoever you do James to might be a double game week player, bring a double.
Would have to be. So it'll be Dallo or Shaw.
Fair enough. Cool. Yeah, those we'll have to wait, I guess, and see press conference news and see what happens as well. Okay, cool. That's yours. This is mine. I've done Mitro to Kane. Yeah, I did Mitro to Kane straight away. I had the funds to be able to do it. Now it's just Cancelo that I'm not really sure what to do with. I potentially at the moment I'm thinking of playing him, but I'm on the fence about that because I probably have to see what I can do with, like, if I was to do, let's say, a Cancelo to Stones, then I have to see what I can do with that funds. And if I can make the most out of those funds, that leftover funds, then I don't mind doing that move now. If I can't really use that funds elsewhere, then I don't see the point of doing that move. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said before, I'm not a huge fan. I just think if he plays, you would have wished you'd kept him.
Yeah, true. Because it's a -4. Doing a hit for a defender is not the most, like, you don't get a return immediately.
It's a double game week defender. So
yeah, that's what. So we'll have to see. That's something I'm still thinking about. But apart from that, Almiron starts ahead of Andreas.
Andreas and Mitrovic, right?
Yeah, Mitrovic is sold, right?
Oh, no, sorry, okay.
Yeah. So, and Almiron starts ahead of Andreas. The rest of the team looks similar. White will be the one who gets benched or Cancelo at the moment. But yeah, that's my thinking right now. And then there was a question from Jude that said Dalot injured. We don't know. It wasn't really said there was injured. It was more so that taken off for precaution. So kind of have to wait.
He played the first half and then was
taken off. Oh, but Ten Hag said taken off for precaution, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, okay. Like he was just getting rested for me.
Or he did get taken off, but yeah, I didn't watch the full first half properly, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, that's basically it.
I expect Dalot to play.
Yeah, I still think he will play
1 to 1.5 games.
Yeah. So if anything, there's more chance that he probably plays Palace as well and then gets rested off, like after 60 or 70 minutes. That's a possibility as well. But I do if he.
Which is a good thing for a defender.
Yeah, exactly. You probably bank your clean sheet by then as well.
Exactly, but not for an attacker.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. If you've reached up to this point, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, thank you all for watching. There will be a deadline stream, so do join us for that. And yeah, if you have any questions, ask them in the comments, and we'll answer them later. So thank you all for watching. Thank you to Karan as well, and good luck to everyone. Before we go, I forgot one final thing. Panel team.
Yeah, let's have a look.
This is what the panel team looks like. 62 points so far. Your call for Captain Rashford worked out. It had Shaw, Botman on the bench, sadly, but there was nothing really we could do because the rest kind of like returned as well. So this week,
wow, the panel team is ranked 300k, dude.
Yeah, dude, 284. It's performing like crazy. I think the panel team will end up in the top 100k. But yeah, this week, obviously Foden will bring in Botman over Gabriel.
For sure.
Which means now what do we do? Captaincy Haaland.
Very strong team. Yeah, captaincy Haaland. I mean, I guess you could keep Havertz. How many transfers does it have?
2 free transfers as well. We could do Havertz to Kane. And then we could go someone else down. Who would we go down?
We could do with 1 transfer?
Then it would have to be Darwin to like a Kane.
Surely we keep Darwin.
Yeah. I mean, who else can you get? You could go Havertz to Kane and then Gabriel can go down, but...
Can Gabriel go to a...
You can go to a White if you wanted to. Or you could go to a Doherty if you wanted to as well.
I'm thinking Gabriel to Doherty, Havertz to Kane.
That's a possibility, since this is a very punty team, which is happens to just do pretty well for some reason.
It's killing me. I'm like 3 mil.
Yeah, I don't know how this team is just doing well. Given that it's supposed to be the risky team of podcast panel. Yeah, we'll do that and see how it goes, I guess.
Risky team, then we should get Doherty.
Okay. Let's see how that goes. So Kane in and Doherty you're saying for Gabriel. Let's see what this delivers. I mean, is that the best we can? Yeah, I think. Is there anything else you would want to do instead?
So I think we can do instead of Kane. That's all I'm thinking.
Instead of Kane. I mean, I ideally wouldn't look. I guess the midfield is because you don't have KDB. That's kind of one.
Is there a way you can get Mahrez in this team?
You could, yes. We
Yes,
can
let's-
go Andres to Mahrez if you wanted.
That's the fun option.
Okay, so we could go Andres to Mahrez and bank a transfer if needed.
Andres Samara is straight.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, then who do we bench of the 3 strikers?
Then you would probably have to bench. Havertz, no. Darwin, maybe. Havertz,
I would never bench Darwin.
yeah. I don't know who you'd bench. You could also bench Martinelli if you wanted to.
I'd rather bench Havertz.
Fair enough. So that's something we can do, and then roll the transfer.
Yeah, so I would bench Havertz and play Mahrez.
Okay, we'll do that, and then roll the next one.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. All right, here we go. Andres does obviously potentially have 25, but we'll deal with that, I guess, when it comes. Cool. All right, confirmed. And we start Mahrez ahead of Havertz. All right. Heavy Manchester presence. Bench is fine.
Yeah, I was just saying, look at the bench. Look at how
Oh
many
yeah,
points.
it's stacked as well. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, there is a case that you. Oh yeah, you said Havertz, Martinelli over Havertz, right? At the moment.
Let's. This is a really strong team.
Yes, it is.
This is an insane team.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see how this panel team does for this week. And that's basically it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and we'll see you all for the deadline stream this week. And then after that, next week there'll be more content coming. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.
See you guys.
That one, right? The penalty. Yes. Which is crazy strong. I don't know. Look, it's doing really well in the rank and has pretty good team value as well. For a team that was supposed to be